All right, all right, all right. What's good, everybody? It is your girl, Tika Deshawn, right here at All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts. It took me a couple of days to get you guys this recap, but I'm here and I'm thankful. BET Plus, what did I just watch? And tonight, you guys, we are talking about the film called or entitled The Despair. Now, before I dive into it, y'all know for those of you that have came through and checked out my what did I just watch episodes, I have a few promos that I would like to give you guys before I actually get started. So thank you to everybody that is tapping in. You guys are absolutely amazing. Salute to my 4,700 subscribers. Yo, we are growing. Our channel is growing, and I am so excited. It doesn't have to be super fast, it doesn't have to be overnight. I'm just grateful for the growth that we do have. I'm really truly grateful, and I thank you guys for always being a part, being here, and checking out the YouTube channel, All Things Ruthless. My girl, shout out to my girl EJ, the TV Junkie. She said she hadn't watched it yet, but she's headed to go watch it now. I'm telling you, girl, if you're watching it right now, if you haven't started watching, if you haven't pressed play yet, make sure your man is in the room, girl. Make sure your man is in the room. It's crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. She says she's in the middle of watching it now. Girl, go on and watch it. Then come back when you done and let me know your thoughts on The Despair, girl. It's crazy. I'm up in the middle of the night talking about it. I'm gonna have to watch something funny, as you say, afterwards to get past this whole craziness. So anyway, you guys, before I get this thing started, let me bring you guys a couple of we got a couple of brands that are, a couple of our Ruthless family members that are doing major things. And I just want to share them with you guys. And I'm sure they want to share with you as well. If not, they wouldn't be posting it. So, of course, that's what I do. That's what Tika does. She, promotes. And, it's all about Ruthless fam tonight. Okay. So, anyway, you guys, here we go. Listen, make sure y'all get that on set by Pierre V. Johnson, y'all. Listen, I've actually used his products and they work really, really well with my skin. I have to, of course, I gotta order some more now because it's about that time, but the price is not very expensive and it's like one of the best cleansers and one of the best moisturizers that I've ever used on my skin. So for those of you that are just pulling in, let me show you guys this video of Pierre one more time. And if you ain't just looking, if you're not looking at the product, I know you're looking at the man. I'm just saying, y'all hold tight. I'll be right back. Listen, get on set by Pierre so you can look like you're on set all the time. All right, y'all. And we have another this guy. I know a lot of you haven't, seen this particular Ruthless cast member in a long time unless you actually follow him on all social media platforms. And by the way, On Set by Pierre, to purchase that, I did include the link in the description. So feel free to click on that link and go and shop at On Set by Pierre V. Johnson, y'all. Another one of the cast members that I'm going to bring something to you. He's a past cast member, but he's forever Ruthless family. Okay, so with that, y'all stay tuned and I will be right back. Listen, y'all, Stevie Bags Jr. is making his one of his debuts in directing this particular stage play. It's more than just, Stevie Bags Jr. There's multiple actors that are going to be a part of them. Many of them you have seen on a lot of your favorite TV shows. This particular play or this whole monologue situation was written by Andre Ori, and I've definitely included in the description as well where you can find the tickets The play is going to be, and first of all, let me start off by telling y'all it's entitled The Heart of a Man, and it's going to be playing in Atlanta on May 18th for one night only. There's multiple shows. You have one at 2 o'clock p.m. and then there's one at 7 o'clock p.m. But I suggest y'all get your tickets now because I have a feeling y'all know how we do. We wait till the last minute and the situation end up being sold out. I do plan on making my way to see The Heart of a Man. I absolutely am making my way to see that. Again, it is May 18th. 2 o'clock p.m. and 7 o'clock p.m. and it's going to be in Atlanta. Again, the link for the tickets to purchase the tickets are all included in the description of this live, you guys. Now, let me check these comments. Let me check the comments real quick. Like, what up, Avante Evans? Thank you for tapping in. I absolutely appreciate you, my little brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Somebody asked already, how do I watch? Well, you got to watch The Despaired on BET Plus. It is right now streaming on BET Plus, and you probably want to watch it during the daytime because it got a little freaky creepy. Freaky creepy. That's all I can say right now. So anyway, you guys, let me dive into a couple of the scene. Let's see. Let's go ahead and talk about this thing. All right, y'all. So tonight we're recapping. Let me take these comments down because you know your girl get excited and go to leaving stuff up here. But I do thank y'all for tapping in. I do thank y'all for, coming through and hanging out with your girl. I've been trying to do this for 2 or 3 days and now I finally am able to get this done. So anyway, The Despaired. Listen, The Despaired has quite a bit of cast members or actors that we've all pretty much seen before. Denise Boutte, it has Drew Sidora. It also stars Coco, or Drew Sidora portrays Coco. Jared Wolford portrays Wayne Hill, and he is the husband to Jill Hill, which is portrayed by Denise Boutte. Now, if y'all are looking in these at this little link or this little post that I just put up here, y'all can see that man name up there, Stevie Baggs Jr. So yes, Stevie Baggs Jr. has a role in this as well. He plays a character by the name of Jeremiah. Definitely got to shout out Terrence T.C. Carson. We know him as Kyle Barker from Living Single. So shout out to that man for being a part of such an amazing. I watched this. I still was like, BET Plus, what did I just watch? But he did his thing in this one as well. So let me again back to these comments. What up, Monique 69 Waves? And shout out to Jacqueline Johnson. Definitely, this movie was very good and scary. Yes. Had your girl creeped out for real, for real. And I had to watch it twice so I can kind of give you guys this recap. So let me just dive into it. Let me quit running my mouth and dive on into the shenanigans. So in the beginning of The Despair, we see where Jill and her husband Wayne are, just living a good life, walking, out from a movie theater. Looks like they're coming from either a movie theater or a restaurant. And he ends up getting unalived. He ends up getting popped. Of course, she is frantic because her man just got unalived, and she's definitely gonna become the despair. So anyway, you guys, she goes through the grieving process. Now, of course, you got to go through the burial and those moments of, oh my goodness, why? Grief is a mother sucker, and it will take you down a dark spiraling road if you allow it to. So, anyways, she goes through that moment, but then she sees at the burial, at the cemetery, she sees this face of this woman who she has never seen before. So she walks up to the woman in the car and like, can you I know you can hear me, let down your window, did you know my husband? Sometimes when people die, they have some secrets that we don't really know about, and this film is definitely going to expose us to a lot of the secrets that the one and only her husband Wayne seems to have. Now, for some reason, uh Jill is attracted to this weird looking house. for some reason, she literally goes there almost every day. Now, I know she's putting mail in the mailbox, but it's clear to see that nobody actually lives there. So she is outside. She's kind of like stretching, almost like she exercising, or like this is just like her spot where she goes to take a break at. And she ends up getting chased by a dog. She ends up running into the house. Now I'm like, sis, you a mail lady. Like, where's your pepper spray? Like, where is your pepper spray? That's all I really want to know. So anyway, she ends up running into the house, and she kind of is creeped out by the house, but she starts hearing, well, they start playing this music. And so she starts walking around. Now it's kind of unclear as to whether or not she actually hears the music as well. But I do know that we can hear it. We, the audience, can hear the music. So she begins to take a small little tour of the house, and then something happens, something crashes to where she gets creeped out and she ends up running out of the house. Now, again, she is a mail lady, but she, during the process of her sorting out some mail, she got this letter that said the despaired. Now, it is written in Hangul. I think that's either Hangul. I don't know what they call the Chinese language, but it's written in that type of language. And so it's translated to the despaired. Now she takes this thing and she puts it back in, the box at work, and she's like, "Cause this ain't for me." So she tries to get rid of it. So then she ends up going back home. She ends up making her way at home. Now, keep in mind, this is her son. He has turned about 17 years old at this point. Now, he was a little boy when his father passed away. Now he's a young man, and he's literally looking for attention. Like, he gives her a report card that has some not so desirable grades of a student. And it's like she don't even care because she's in so far into grief that she's just does not, she has no regard for anything that her son is feeling. It's like she's feeling as if she's the only person that is grieving. And her son is just letting her, he's doing little things to get himself into trouble just to get some attention. But again, she's really not paying much of any attention to him. Now, she also received that letter because she got rid of that letter. But she asked her son, where did this come from? And he tells her that is the letter. It came from out of the mailbox. So, he do have a little smart little mouth, but he a teenager. So anyway, she's creeped out because this letter has made its way to her home. So anyway, she finally go ahead and she opens up the letter. And it says to the despair. So basically, this letter is telling her a way to bring back her dead husband. It's like there are different options for the despaired. And one of the options was to bring back a loved one from the dead. So another option, like she was focused so much on that bring a loved one back from the dead, but it also said take a person's life. Like she was, this thing is on some whole devil worshiping type situation. But because she is so desperate and in grief, in so much grief, she's in her mind, she's like basically willing to do anything to bring back her dead loved one. So she's in what I gather as grievance therapy or group therapy, where this young lady proceeds to talk about how there's this man that helped her, find out, kind of basically get some closure. Now, this guy is not a psychic, but he does see and know a lot of things. So she's kind of convinced that maybe I need to go talk to him, but not at that very moment. Again, she's still trying to process everything that she has discovered, as well as especially with that whole letter. But in the directions of this letter, because she's following through, she's trying to bring her husband back. So in that letter, it says to write their name on the paper, seal their name, or seal it with your blood, seal their name with your blood. um it also says to place a personal item of theirs in the envelope. Like this stuff is getting dark, dark, dark. And so she does that. She finds his bow tie and she places it in the envelope. and then it says, speak these words of healing, and she just starts saying something about healing, healing, healing. And it's like she's having flashbacks of the moment her husband was killed. And but that whole blood situation, that ritual that she just did was a binding ritual to basically bring him back. And girl, you can't be messing with these dark and evil spirits. But anyway, she does what it's telling her to do. She places it, in a spot. And she continuously goes to this house. It's almost, again, like I told y'all, it's like it's something that keeps drawing her to this house. So anyway, she's sitting on top of that mail truck, and the truck begins to shake. Like it's literally just shaking. Like, and I'm sitting there like, what the heck she got going on? But again, the truck it's shaking, shaking, shaking. So she looks down and doesn't see anything. Then she steps down from off the top of the truck, you guys, and then she opens up the back of the truck. And in the back of the truck, y'all, is a freaking body. Now, how the body got in there, I don't know. Did she go to the graveyard and dig them up? I don't know. All I know is there's a freaking body in the back of the truck. And she, of course, on her little trailer thing, she uses it and takes him inside of the house, y'all. I'm like, wait, what? So she closed the window as if anybody is possibly looking in there, but it's her husband. It's literally him. He's come back to life. He looks like the Walking Dead, but he's back. He's definitely back alive. Again, BET Plus. What did I just watch? Like, really, we bringing folks back from the dead, but I still watched it, y'all. I continued to watch. So anyway, there's a moment she's having a whole conversation, and she's telling him, he's telling her he missed her, just saying all the things that a grieving person would want to hear. Now, y'all got to be careful, because when y'all trying to bring people and stuff and things back from the dead, y'all didn't watch Pet Cemetery where the animal came back and it came back crazy. I'm just saying, this is what this was giving me Pet Cemetery vibes. So anyway, you guys, there is a moment where she goes home. She has to handle a situation with her son. Then she goes back to the house where Wayne is. Now, Wayne, keep in mind, you guys, Wayne is from the Night of the Living Dead. Like, he was dead and now he's back. And then she gives him some clothes that, she's like, well, you can put this on, and has this Maryland shirt or something like that. So anyway, she begins to clean him and wipe him down, and she kisses him in the area where he got shot, like the bruises are still there. And then it gets intimate with Wayne, dead Wayne at that, y'all. Like, anyway, I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself on that part. Anyway, she gets intimate. They have a sexual moment, and then something weird happens, and he begins to choke her. It's almost as if he was casting some sort of spell on her. We're gonna find out later on what actually happened. But if you look at her eyes, you can see that something has come over her. Something not godly, something definitely deadly has come over her. So anyway, you guys, then she has this moment where she sees this gruesome looking woman and she screams. But then when we see her, she's not sitting on top of Wayne anymore. Like, that whole intimate, it's almost as if that whole intimate moment was a vision of her, her thoughts. But she gets up and she leaves, and as she's leaving, she tells Wayne, listen, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get you, to help you come back with us, because he tells her that he needs her to bring three live bodies. They all have to be living, so that he can take their spirit, so that he can come back. But she only has 4 days to do it. Now, keep in mind, the first 2 days she was scared. She didn't want to do it. She didn't know how to do it. So anyway, we find out that this is the moment right here where she tells him, I'm going to do it by any means necessary. So the descent is definitely, it's all about to go down. She goes to the club. She thought she saw the guy that unalived her husband, but he wasn't the guy. Of course, at the club, because he had this whole mask looking thing over his face. I don't know if that was his birthmark or if he had an injury, but anyway, she thinks that he's the guy that unalived her husband. But he walks away like, lady, you crazy. I don't even know what you're talking about. So anyway, we see, of course, she is the mail lady, and she sees these two little girls, and they're over there dancing. Not only does she see these two little girls, she also sees this man over there that's just literally straight up watching them. And so in her mind, she's like, oh yeah, let me do some background work on him to see who this guy is. And then I probably can, he looking like he's a pedophile. That's like the look that he was giving. Because he's literally staring at these two little girls dancing outside dancing. So anyway, at the home, Wayne is going through his own stuff. Like he also tells her the way that you can identify people that are bad is that you'll see a certain mark on their forehead. Now, mind you, Wayne has this same mark on his forehead, which means you telling me that he's a bad person too. So anyway, he's having these moments where he hears a baby crying and he goes to this dresser. He tries to pick up the baby that he thinks is in there, and there's a hand that grabs his arm, and he's creeped out. But you're dead, so how are you feeling all of this stuff? I don't know what it is to be dead. I don't want to find out right at this moment. I don't know what you really go through when you die, but it's saying that this particular character by the name of Wayne is experiencing a lot of turmoil. Basically, he was supposed to go to hell, but where he was being hurt and tortured, and for some reason he came back. They gave him the opportunity to come back if he gave them those three souls that she is supposed to go and find. So anyway, she comes back and she tells Wayne, I found somebody. I just got to go through the process. And then she's like, well, what again, y'all, this is some of the creepy stuff. And keep in mind, yes, this stuff is creepy. Keep in mind, this stuff is creepy. But this was one of the moments where she goes back to the house and she tells Wayne, look, I don't know what if I choose the wrong person? What if I make a mistake and choose the wrong person? And that's the moment where he actually tells her that she'll be able to know who's the right person by seeing that symbol that will be on their forehead. So let me check the comments real quick. Like, yes, EJ, the shit is crazy, crazy, and the son is hard-headed as hell. Like, I mean, he's too big to get a whooping, but you know what? I realize he's hard-headed, but he's also seeking attention because mama not paying him no attention. This boy even stole a security guard car at the school, and she didn't it's like as if she didn't care. So he's attention seeking. He's grieving also because gotta keep in mind he lost his daddy too, but he's grieving as well, and he is just acting out. And that's a good thought though. He's definitely acting out. He hard headed, but he acting out. He's definitely acting out. So moving right along, you guys. Again, like I said, she hears him, yelling and saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And again, I'm sorry to keep creeping y'all out, but this was something that popped up that he saw. So in his mind, it's like I don't know if all the bad that he was doing was coming back on him, and the way that he could get rid of all that bad was to give whoever those three spirits. I don't know, but that's what it's giving me. Like, you can only be rid of all of this stuff if you give us what we're asking for. So anyway, she lets him know that she has found somebody. So she goes, and it's time for her to act out on what she says that she's going to do. She goes to this guy's house. Remember, I told y'all about the guy who was watching the little girls in the yard looking like a whole pervert. So she pretends that she has the package. It's so easy to just get in people's house when you a male person. She brings in this big old box, and I'm waiting to see what's in it because he has a box cutter and he opens it up, but she ends up taking it from him, and he opens it up, but there's nothing but papers in it, nothing but letters and papers in it. Now, all this time she's spending at the house, is she delivering people mail? That's all I would like to know. Is she delivering these folks mail? So anyway, you guys, like I said, this guy Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me now. Let me know if you can hear me now. No, it ain't you. It was me, girl. I told y'all I tapped this microphone and by mistake because I get excited, waving my hands and going, okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah, I got excited, waving my hands, and so I tapped the microphone. But working on getting a new one, working on getting a whole new computer system. So let me just backtrack just a little bit because I don't know what you didn't hear. But real quick, like she goes to the man's house, she beats him over the head, she puts him in a box, she takes him to her husband, he unalives him. He has now taken his spirit from out of this man's body, and now he needs 2 more spirits. So Wayne needs 2 more spirits. Will he make it in time? That's the good question. So anyway, she's just trying to find another spirit, and I'm thinking that she's about to try to use Coco. She's about to use Coco as one of those spirits that because she just pulled up at her husband's funeral and no explanation, didn't say who she was, or nothing. Just looked at her and rolled out. So anyway, she goes to the apartment complex again. She's looking for Coco. And the girl says Coco went running. If you come in here to beat Coco up, she's gone. She went running with her friend. So even though Coco was still at the apartment, and even though this girl acted like she did not like Coco, she still protected Coco. She, for some reason, didn't allow the beatdown to occur. And even though I don't think she was going there to beat her up, I'm just thinking she was trying to get some information as to who she was. So anyway, all of this stuff is taking a toll on Jill. Jill had started to drink even more, so much that she had overslept. And the way that she was awakened was because her son woke her up. He's like, "Mom, shouldn't you be, at work?" So anyway, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. She probably missed work, so she won't be going. So because the next thing we see is her or maybe she has a late work call. So anyway, the next thing we see is her at let me go back, y'all. She went to group therapy. She went to group therapy, grieving therapy, where she talked to this girl, and this girl tells her that she knows somebody that can, help her get some closure, help her find out who unalived her husband. So she's like, okay, give me the information, and she does that. And literally, the next scene we're gonna see. Keep in mind, y'all, after Jill went out to her car, there was a note on her car that said, "Stop looking for me." And that note actually came from Coco. So anyway, moving right along, she goes over to, and I told y'all the name of the character was, it's T.C. Carson, also known as Hal Barker. But keep in mind, he's making this tea. Now, in the beginning, we don't know what is in this actual tea. We end up finding out that it was a concoction that's going to help her release all the evilness that is attached to her. And he tells her, "Look, I can tell that there is something evil. He can even hear it in the house, like just stirring around. He keeps looking like, what the heck is that sound? And what is that going on? What's that noise going on in my house?" But he knows that he can sense it. He's an intuitive. He can sense that there's something evil that is attached to her. So anyway, they're interrupted by their conversation by Coco. Coco has pulled up on the psychic. I don't want to call him a psychic. The intuitive. She pulls up on him. She tases him, and she tells Jill, "Look, I know you're trying. Is your husband, is he back?" And I don't know what. I do know what her motive. We find out later on what her motive was, but I thought she had a relationship with the husband. Come to find out, this man was a leader of basically a drug trafficking, a sex trafficking operation, and this one female wanted to be a madam, in which Toya, which ends up being Coco's friend. We find out that was her friend, and she's like, "Well, I got somebody that you gotta have what do you need?" So she tells her about how many bodies and bodies or alive bodies that she has to have, and she says, "Okay, well, I know somebody, but I need your help, and I need you to find out where they are, and we can go get the person." So she agrees. Jill agrees. She goes to work. She she does her work thing, looks up the address of this doctor who's responsible for her best friend not only did her best friend go to this lady to get an abortion, but when they found her, some of her organs was missing. So they not only trafficking bodies, but they trafficking organs too. So they end up going and snatching this chick up and taking her. They snatch her up. Coco, with her hot-headed self, ends up shooting the lady, but she's not dead yet. She's not dead. But if y'all see that symbol on her forehead, that is the sign that she has done some evil. Her evil is being followed, is following her. So anyway, they take her to where Wayne is, and at this moment, this entity that's inside of Jill is telling her to get rid of Coco. But Coco wants to know, how do I bring my friend back? If I see you brought your husband back, how do I bring my friend back? And this entity is telling her, get rid of her, unalive her. Like this whole thing is telling her to, just take Coco out. But because she is, she's fighting it, Jill is fighting it. And so she proceeds by drinking this concoction that she's took from, I'm going to call him Kyle, y'all. She took this concoction from Kyle. I don't think he knew that the whole thing was missing, but she drank it, and it saw that spirit that was, the evil spirit that was embedded in her. It came right out of her, but he was able to get the spirit that he needed from the doctor. Now, knowing all that she knows about him, she doesn't really want to help him because she found out that he was a bad guy, that he's evil. So Jill is in a hard, she's really in a rough spot, you guys. So anyway, this is the moment where I'm gonna start to wrap this up, but we got to see. I told you guys that Stevie Baggs Jr. was a part of this as well. So let me give you guys the clip. First of all, let me give you guys the trailer to this film, and then I'll give you guys. No, that's not the trailer. I'm sorry, y'all. This is the moment where she goes to talk to Cal, and then I'll give you the other scene that I want to give you. Y'all stay locked in.
Well, eventually the host demise. And the only way you could have got it was by exchanging fluids with the underworld. That ain't working in here.
Listen, you gotta help me. I'm looking for my son. Look, he's
tall. You need to get you some business.
Stevie Baggs Jr. is in this. Let me go back. I was so excited to actually see him in another role. We're seeing him in BMF. He's definitely in BMF as one of the Red Dogs. But shout out to Stevie Baggs Jr. Always awesome to see you in another film, another role. You're doing big things, sir. So congratulations to you on this role. So here's the clip, you guys.
Listen, you gotta help me. I'm looking for my son. Look, he's
you
tall.
Need to get you
he's
some
16.
business. Lady.
No, please. Look, he may have snuck in with his father.
All of our members are 25 and up.
No, listen.
Ain't nobody sneaking in here.
Told you. Look, he may be in here wearing one of those masks.
Look, I know you got some shit with you, and I get that. But you need to take that shit somewhere else.
This is the only place he would be.
It's the last time I'm gonna tell you, ma'am. Take your shit somewhere else.
I know Quinn.
You know Quinn? How?
You just tell him that I am up here. And I have information about Toya.
Come on in. Yeah, she mentioned Toya, but she was also packing this. Let me know if she do some crazy shit, Q. I got it.
So listen, y'all. Listen. We get to see Stevie Baggs in another role. I'm absolutely excited for it. But let me dive into Let me dive into the remainder of the scene, and then we're gonna wrap this show, this finale, this episode. We're gonna wrap this thing up, y'all, because this crazy. This show was crazy. So anyway, they end up. Okay, so she goes and she talks to Q. She ends up talking to Q, and he tells her how crazy, how nasty, how disgusting, how evil her husband truly was. He lets her know. Yes, it is so crazy, EJ. It is so crazy, and I'm at the okay, yeah. So yep. So he tells her that your husband was running this whole ring. He was doing a whole bunch of, he was the ringleader to all the dirty shenanigans. He was the ringleader, and she's just, she's hurting, but she's still in disbelief. But she's telling him, look, if my I'm just trying to, I don't care about none of that. I just want to know, have you seen my husband? Because he is going to come here and try to unalive you. And if he don't unalive you, he's going to unalive my son. So anyway, he's like, before we know it, you guys, then of course the son is introduced or reintroduced to the father, and he's willing to do whatever he got to do to help his father come back. So now we've got that out of the way. Let me go back to where Wayne brings his crazy self into the building, y'all. Because he came to unalive Q, but Quentin Q, he ends up unaliving himself because he wasn't letting this entity take him out. But some kind of way he ends up coming back to life. Y'all, this man, can y'all see evil? Oh my God, Wayne literally lost his mind. He was definitely going to unalive their son, but she said to him, "Don't take our son, take me." And that's like a cliche comment or a cliche or a statement that people make comment like, "Take me." I don't know. My kid's been wilding out. So would I sacrifice myself for my kid? I'm just playing, y'all. But would y'all sacrifice for y'all self for y'all kids? I would. I wouldn't want anything like this demonic to happen to my child. So anyway, he ends up. They come in. Oliver, aka Stevie Banks Jr., also known as the character Jeremiah. He comes in. They come in, popping bullets everywhere. But the devil, this demonic entity takes over the girl. One of the her mind ends up taking over her mind, and she ends up shooting the chick that's standing next to her, and then she get into a whole altercation with Jeremiah, aka Stevie Banks Jr. He flips her over. It's like you're thinking that he's winning, but he ends up getting unfortunately, he's unalive. She beat him. She won. He ends up being unalive. This is a spoiler, so I apologize to anybody that has yet to watch this scene. But he does end up getting unalive. Again, the evil entity definitely attempts to take out his son. So anyway, you guys, in a nutshell, Wayne lost his mind when he died. He didn't have no mind. So this is what happens. I don't know who sent this letter, but I have a feeling that the way that this particular how you call it, this particular film ended, I think we'll get, at least we should get a part two, because someone else ends up with that letter. Someone else ends up with that letter. So, they have to for sure continue this whole situation on. So anyway, you guys, they definitely got to give us a part two. Definitely have to give us a part two. Anyway, you guys, that was it. What were y'all thoughts? Have you guys watched? It was crazy. The shenanigans were real. But I was here for the shenanigans. No lies told. I was here for the shenanigans. And that's pretty much it. EJ, you gave me your commentary while you were watching. You just finished it, and the ish was crazy. And listen, y'all, when y'all don't be playing around with these satanic situations, because you don't know how it's gonna, like she was so in so much grief that she would do literally anything to bring her husband back. And basically, they was messing around with the devil. They was dealing with the devil. But anyway, we find out that she thought Wayne was that perfect husband, that innocent husband that never could do wrong husband. Ended up, Wayne had a whole bunch of secrets, y'all. And it cost them. Definitely leave the supernatural alone. That part. That part. Leave them supernaturals alone. If you ain't ordained to do that stuff, leave it alone. Cause you don't know you don't know what you bringing back when you messing around and doing this stuff. So he definitely had a double life, EJ. He definitely had a double life. He definitely had a double life. And unfortunately, she was blind to the fact. She was definitely blind to the fact. So anyway, you guys, as always, I try to keep this time around. I try to keep BT Plus. What did I just watch? I try to keep these segments short but sweet. So I thank you all for coming through and rocking with your girl. I absolutely appreciate it. Of course, shout out to my girl EJ the TV Junkie. You rocked it out. Thank you so much for being here. Even while you was watching the girl, thank you for coming through. Thank you, Jacqueline Johnson. Thank you, Monique 69 Waves. Thank you, Darcel Knight. Thank you to everybody that tapped in. Those of you that tapped in that didn't say anything, it's all good. We absolutely appreciate you, girl. I was trying my best. I have a long story of how my week went, but I won't go into it because I'm trying to keep it positive. What does Crystal Renee say? Keep it positive, sweetie. So I'm trying to keep it positive. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all for tapping in, tuning in, locking in with your girl Tika the Shun right here at All Things Ruthless. I got a question. If there's something you guys have watched and want to talk about, drop them in the comments. I'll come back and check because I got so many comments. I got to come back through and check. But I will check out the comments and then we will decide from there what it is we'll talk about next. I do have an idea of another movie that I'm going to talk about. It's another beat, or this one is coming from Tubi. Tubi, what did I just watch? And then we'll talk about that. And then I have some other things that's coming up a little bit later on. But again, thank y'all so much for tapping in, tuning in, locking down with your girl, Tika the Shine, right here at All Things Ruthless. And you guys have an amazing, amazing week. The rest of your weekend, okay? All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Check out these videos real quick one more time, and we're out.